Hello, dear viewer, and welcome to another episode of the Catholic League Forum. I'm Mike McDonald, Director of Communications at the Catholic League, and joining me today is President and CEO of the Catholic League, Bill Donohue. Bill, big day today. Today is the March for Life, and our prayers go out to everyone that's peacefully marching in Washington and advocating for the pro-life message. Really appreciate them doing that. You had a great piece out this week, though. I'm sure everyone is aware by now of the monumental case last year, Dobbs, that overturned Roe v. Wade. Now we're living in this post-Roe era, and you had some insight on some of the changes that we're now seeing and how we got to this point in time.
Right. I mean, I take a look at places like Texas where they have a heartbeat law, and it's working very effectively. I think that people have to be very careful in the states about what they can get. People in the state legislature know their own people better than we do, obviously, and you get what you can. If you shoot for everything, you may wind up with nothing. And I'm of the prudential opinion that you get what you can and then you go from there. And we have to also talk to young men and young women. The men need to be talked to by men, not by women. The women need to be talked to by women, not men, about what's expected of them and how they to act responsibly. You can't leave the guys out of this, all right? And that's happened too often. But there's not enough emphasis on moral education. We're more concerned about the techniques of learning about sex. That's misguided.
Yes. And I think you bring up a very good point there, as we've been seeing across the country with all of these pro-life legislations that are taking place on the state level, that they're actually saving life. It may not be everything
Right.
that we want, but every little barrier does
We're not
help.
talking about statistics.
Right.
We're talking about a human being, which sometimes get lost when we look at the stats.
Yeah, every little regulation we can put on the evil of abortion does save a life, and that's very important to keep in mind. But also another point I want to touch on there that you brought up, Bill, about this sort of we need to re-educate or focus on how we educate children, refocus that and young adults on sex. Because one of the things you highlighted in the piece I thought was very telling is that the pro-abortion side is all about the me, and narcissism of it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and I think that's a bit of a good segue because as we're seeing in the states that are not pro-life, you had another good piece out this week on what's going on here in New York City about Mayor Adams using taxpayer dollars to fund abortion providing pill dispensers in the Bronx right now, but then going to be spreading out to some of the other boroughs.
Well, what's striking about this is, first of all, what he's doing is immoral. He's asking me and you, as pro-life people, to pay for somebody else to kill their kid.
Right.
They're giving these pills out. They in 4 different places, but they started in one. The other 3 haven't come out yet. They're starting in one place. They chose the South Bronx. They chose one of the blackest and brownest areas of all New York, one of the highest poverty rates, highest crime rate. Now, why would you want to go there? That's consistent with Planned Parenthood. Goes back to Margaret Sanger talking about blacks as weeds and making very clear, hush, hush, don't talk about it. Be careful that they don't learn that what we want to do is to exterminate Negro Americans. That's what she says. You can get the exact language on our website. So this is pernicious, that you're asking the taxpayers to pay for abortion pills, and you're starting with the most vulnerable, exploited people in our society. What you're basically saying is that we have too many of you. Let's face it, that's what's always behind this. That's why they put it there and not in the Tony sections of Brooklyn.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So clearly there's still a lot of work that needs to be done to advance the pro-life agenda on our side and to definitely counteract some of the evils that they're promoting. So our thoughts and prayers again are with the people peacefully protesting, and hopefully we can see some changes there. Bill, to shift gears, you had another very strong piece out this week on Pete Buttigieg and his relationship with Chasen. And
He thinks he's his husband.
And
He
how
thinks
it's being
he is,
portrayed in the media. Yeah, how's the media portraying it?
Well, of course, Buttigieg is the failed Secretary of Transportation. He was, before that, the failed, was he a mayor of South Bend or something like that?
Mayor of South Bend.
Yeah. He didn't go too far. Anyhow, this guy thinks he's married, okay, and that he has a husband. Well, he can't have a husband. All right, it's impossible. I know that they can declare that to be. Right? That's called a legal fiction. Now, legal fiction is something which is regarded by the courts as legal, even though everyone knows it's false. I'll give you a classic example, which is often used in the classrooms. You have a legislature, and they have until midnight to pass all the legislation. It's getting close to midnight, and they have to get it done by midnight. What do? You turn the clock back to 9 o'clock. That's a legal fiction. Gets up to midnight again, you can always adjust it again, maybe to 10 o'clock. That's a legal fiction. Because somebody says that something is true doesn't mean that it's true.
Right.
We have in this country the Flat Earth Society, okay? The people who belong to it believe that the earth is flat. That's okay, all right? But, I'm not wearing a red shirt today.
No.
You can think I am, but this is blue. And the important thing is this. If a man can only have a wife and a wife can only have a husband, Jason, his partner, not his husband, the two men have been denied by nature and by nature's God. They don't have the right physical equipment to make a baby, which is why they depend on other people, namely heterosexuals, to adopt babies, because they are denied. It's impossible to have them. So the idea of somebody saying, well, a man can get pregnant, of course, this is all madness. This is another kind of fiction,
right,
which is very popular in this country. It's important always to remember the most important thing for Christians is truth.
Yep.
Truth, okay? If truth doesn't matter, then you have Hitler, Stalin, Mao, men can get pregnant. Everything's on the table, because now we're left with opinions, okay? You think it's wrong to own a slave. I respect your opinion, but don't you dare impose your opinion on me, because that black guy is chattel, meaning cattle, and I should have my rights as well. Once you get away from natural law and natural rights, which comes from Aristotle, Cicero, and then Aquinas and the Catholic Church, known for it very strongly, then you get into moral relativism, and let me tell you something, that will eat up everybody in the long run, including the proponents of it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So very, very good argument there, and you don't see too many appeals to natural law these days.
No,
so
you should though.
Definitely, dear viewer, do check that out on our website, CatholicLeague.org. We'll have a link in the description below to see it. But Bill, we actually do have some exciting news. Kind of teased it a little bit today on Friday with our news release on Bob Iger, the CEO of Disney. So what's going on with Iger, and what's going on with our documentary?
Well, Iger was the head of ABC back in the 90s. I clashed with him when it was owned by Disney. And then he went on to be the Disney CEO, and then he retired, but he managed to just get himself back in. That was very clever. It's take another segment to tell you about how he did that. And he submarined Bob Chapek, okay? It's the guy whom he handpicked, and then Chapek turned out to be a loser as well. And now Iger's back, and he said, look, Iger's the one who pushed back earlier last year, about a year ago, that we have to teach LGBT agenda stuff in the classroom. Kindergarten, first, second, third graders, we should question them about their sexuality. That's why Disney came out against the parental rights bill. It had nothing to do with gays per se. It was about parental rights. He didn't want the parents to have rights. Disney does not want the parents to have the rights. They want the state to have the rights. They want the Department of Education to have the rights, the teachers' unions to have the rights, and they want to be an advisory to it. And so he came out and said that if this bill were ever to pass, it would endanger the lives of the LGBT people. Well, it's been passed now for well over half a year. Where's the body count? Where are the complaints? Where's the discrimination? We'd be opposed, obviously, to any kind of bullying against any LGBT, any person, I don't care what you are. But this was all a lie, and it was a lie to smear people who believe that this is not right to do in the schools. Disney's been involved in this. They've been lying about it. And now, of course, we're right here at the 11th hour, because people, we have an announcement today. On Monday, January 23rd, when you come to work, when you're at home, go to the Catholic League website and you can see a 50-minute video. We put a lot of time and money into it. It's a first-class production. We're very, very proud of it. Jason Meath production, and I'm also a co-executive editor of this classic. And it'll be available on DVD and many different platforms. And you can make up your own mind about it. It's first-class quality. We're very proud of it. And we're going to pull the mask off of the Mickey Mouse nonsense that's been going on.
Yeah, so dear viewer, do check out our website, CatholicLeague.org, on Monday. You can see the video there. It'll be on a bunch of different platforms, so that's probably going to be the easiest way to find it. And if you do subscribe and push the bell button on YouTube, you get a notification when the video is up. So definitely. I know we say that every week, like and subscribe, but it will actually really help you this time.
Oh, yeah.
But it is top shelf.
Yeah.
It's just high quality, very good. And I know, Bill, you've put a lot of heart and soul
Well,
into this.
the whole staff did, and the people who support us, God bless you.
Yeah, amen. So do check out the video on Monday. Again, go to CatholicLeague.org to find all the platforms it'll be available on. And as always, if you can give this video a like and subscribe, that will help us greatly beat big tech algorithm, get this message to more people. Thank you for watching, and thanks, Bill.
Thank you.